The C-Search connector integrates directly with the GSA's authorization mechanism to ensure that users only ever see notes documents in search results to which they have at least reader access to in the original notes database. To configure the connector to implement this authorization mechanism, open up the Setup profile and move to the Access Control tab. Then press the Create Access Control Database button. This action will have created the Access Control Database on our Domino server. Before we can continue, we must first update a simple setup profile in that database, and we can open it from here. As you can see, most of the values have been filled in for us already. The first thing we must do is enable the directory monitor. This allows the system to read our Domino directory and extract key information for groups and users to be used as part of the authorization process. By default, the directory monitor will run daily. This time can be changed, extended or reduced as required. Perhaps the most important thing we need to do is we need to have a way of mapping the username that each user uses to authenticate to the GSA to their Domino name. One way of doing this is to add a field to the person document in the Domino directory itself, and for each person enter the name that will be supplied to the GSA as users authenticate. For example, we use Active Directory and LDAP to authenticate to the GSA, and we have added a field to our Domino directory called GSA name. The access control system will now record not only the Domino name of each user and group membership details, but it will also record the value held in the GSA name field in each person document. This ensures that as authorization requests are passed in from the GSA, each user's name can be mapped correctly to their equivalent Domino name. Once the directory monitor has run, we will see some entries in both the people and the groups view in the access control database. It's this information that the system uses in conjunction with the security tokens held in the connector itself to determine whether an individual has read access or above to a particular resource or notes document. So that completes the Domino side of the access control system setup. But before it will work correctly, we must go into the Google Search Appliance admin console and point the appliance at our agent, which will actually receive and process authorization requests. To do this, open the console and go to the Serving menu option, Access Control, and in the Authorization SPI field, enter the fully qualified host name of your Domino server and your Google Access Control database, which will by default be google-access-control.nsf, followed by the name of the agent that processes the authorization requests, authorize, and the Open Agent command. Save that and log out. Now let's look at an example notes database which I have previously registered with the Domino connector. It's the demo team room. We'll start by looking at the ACL for that database, and this tells us that the default access level is author. Anonymous for browser access is also set to author. This means that by default anyone who has access to this particular team room can create documents and view anyone else's documents inside the team room. However, if I open up the database and look at the team documents view, I can see 3 documents. 2 of them are public documents, but the one at the top I have marked private. So only I will be able to see this particular document inside the Team Room database. This document also contains 2 file attachments. Now let's see how those Team Room documents are represented inside the Domino connector itself. We go to the Submitted view. We can see the document stubs for each of the Team Room documents and their file attachments. If we open up one of the public documents and look at the security token field, we'll see it's empty. This means that this particular document and any attachments on that document will have been submitted to the GSA as a public document, so authorization is not required for serving this document in search results. However, if we look at the private document, we'll see there is a value in the security token field. So the GSA will now seek authorization before presenting this particular document from its index to any user. Now let's see how that is represented when I actually do a search across the Google index itself. I'll search for the Team Rooms database title. Because I'm searching secure content, the system now prompts me to log in, and I'll authenticate as John Smith, who has access to the Team Room but doesn't have access to that particular document that I've marked as private. And here we see 4 documents returned. We have the 2 notes documents, and we have 2 file attachments. These file attachments are actually connected to this notes document. Here you can see. So the authorization mechanism has prevented John from seeing the document which I marked private in that particular Team Room. Now I'll start with a fresh browser session and I'll try that search again. This time, however, I'll log in as myself and now I can see not only the public documents but also the private documents from the Team Room. And here you can see the Excel spreadsheets and the document itself. So in this instance, the authorization mechanism has recognized that I have at least reader access to this document, and the Google search appliance has returned them in the search results. Finally, it's worth noting that we respect all levels of database security in Notes. Firstly, we respect the ACL of the database itself. This includes the users and the group entries. It also includes ACL roles that are placed there by the designer for the benefit of the application. And then on down to the documents themselves, so we can respect document level security from any readers and authors fields found on those documents. And the system also has a built-in database ACL monitor, so each time it processes an incremental update of a registered database, it checks to see if the ACL has changed. And if it has, and that change will impact the security of the documents within, the system will automatically rebuild that part of the index for the GSA. Thank you for taking the time to look at this short presentation of the authorization mechanism provided by the C-Search Domino connector for Google.